Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We are covering Love is Blind Season 4, Episode 10, Chris. We are almost there. Where would you like to start today?
Not there enough, though, Dave, with Love Island starting soon.
Yeah, I'm trying to scooch on past that and not think about it. But, Chris, it is a lovely day, isn't it? And I am not ready for Love Island, but we're not going to speak about that. We're here to speak about Love is Blind.
Yeah, we are. So I've got to say, Dave, Josh and Jaqueline go for this date, don't they? And obviously Marshall, there's no morals from Jaquelina at all. She's just like, I don't give a fuck, really. I'm not bothered that I'm coming to see you off the record with a camera crew, producer-led Dave. Josh seemed a lot calmer and like he'd not been on the old Jack Daniels this time and came across okay. But ultimately, these two would be a toxic relationship, I think. I think it's purely a passion thing. And her dialogue, Dave, I think even though Josh is making a play for saying, I realized I made a mistake, blah, blah, blah. Why is she even on this show, Dave? Unbelievable.
It's a bit bizarre, isn't it? Because she's sort of saying to him, you can tell there's more there. And the problem I have with all of this, Chris, is it's called fucking Love is Blind. The whole premise of the show is, can you build an emotional connection with someone and not see them and not bring those prejudices and all of your instinct to it and still be in a position where you want to get married to someone? Yeah. Whereas she seems to be like, she's not into Marshall at all. And it's all about, I want to say it's about him and how he is, but she kind of got to know him in the pod, so I guess it's all about how he looks. But yeah. I just find it weird because she's saying to Josh, like, she doesn't want to get with Marshall, but, she just kind of wants to see how it goes with Josh, which in the real world, right, completely down with that. I think that is fair enough. Just see how it goes and then make the decision. But it's like, okay, but what are you doing on the actual fucking show then?
Yes.
You just fuck off. If you're not going to get married, right, you're out. Eliminated. Get out of it. So it seems like she wants a cake and eat it. But I must admit, in this episode, I kind of flip-flopped a little bit on Jaquelina's position because on one hand, I almost admire the fact that she's like, this isn't working with Marshall. I'm flogging a dead horse. And the reason I admire that is because we've seen so many people on these dating shows where it's like, I need to think how I come across on the camera. And so, I want a career after this. Whereas she's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do me. And that is it. But, she does come across like quite abrasive and cold as well. I mean, when she's having a conversation with Josh, right? And she's saying, there was an instant traction there. And she's saying about how her nipples got hard. And I'm like, fucking hell, it's a bit much. It's like your first date sort of thing. But then when she's having the heart-to-heart with Marshall, and clearly we don't get to see, what led up to that. Because they weren't talking before that.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, how are you? Where the fuck do you think I am? I was like, getting married. I was getting measured for my suit, and you didn't turn up for yours. And, so just some of her dialogue was very, very weird, I thought.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the nipple thing was like, what? This is a bit much. But yeah. I think Marshall is playing the character I said in the last episode. I think he's fully aware of what's going on. But again, you're right. Why is she on the show if she's telling even Josh? In the context of the show, she's cheating on Marshall. In the context of the show, I agree with you. She's allowed to say, I am not ready. I Just want to see where we end up, have a few dates. Obviously, this show puts you straight into a relationship, straight into living together as well, which she may literally just be so scared of. She's like, I can't cope. I can't cope. And it's just got too much for her. But yeah, it's just so strange, the whole way she's gone about it. And she's like, I don't give a shit about Marshall. I don't care. You know, Josh, if you want to be with me, be with me. If not, I'm not that bothered. It's baffled me how this has all gone in the actual show, Dave. Because and what got my back up more than anything was, I don't particularly like him. What got my back up is when he said, I'll have the ring back, please. And she went, no, I'm keeping it. I'm like, why? Why are you pawning it? Are you going to make a few $100 off it? Maybe she's desperate for money. I don't know. It was so bizarre. And then he went, keep it. This will remind you of me or something like that. And I'm thinking, I don't think it will, Marshall. I think it's going straight to the fucking pawn shop or on eBay or Craigslist as they do in America. I thought that because I was going to say like, that's my grandmother's, my great grandmother's ring or something. And she just went, nope, I'm keeping it. And I was like,
see,
weird.
I really want some context to this because we've seen it on previous seasons where someone's had something emotional, like you say, it's my mother's my grandmother's ring or something like that. It has some meaning. And then I was thinking, like, so I didn't agree with either of them. So, Marshall's saying, well, why did you accept the ring in the pods? And it's like, come on, mate. We've all been in relationships where we think it's going to work. No one gets into a relationship not thinking it's going to work, but then it doesn't. Yeah. So just kind of, you need to have a bit of humility as well. Just let go. But the ring thing, it's like asking for the ring back. If he's actually paid his hard-earned cash for that, and she's just like, no, I'm just keeping it and I'm going to flog it. I thought, well, yeah, that's a little bit off. But then I was thinking, a fucking lot off. But then I was thinking, well, is it a ring that the show has done, and like he was asking it back just as a symbolic gesture? I'm not sure, but like if he's actually paid for that, then that's not fucking on at all, is it?
No, it's strange, isn't it? And I think it plays into the fact that Jaquelina has no self-awareness of what she does, of her behavior. She puts it down to her just, when she's horrible to him, it's like, well, it's just the way I am. Tough shit sort of thing. She's going to go through life very disappointed, Dave. And I think Josh is the guy she needs physically. And there's obviously some attraction there. She said that. But I think emotionally, Marshall's probably the sort of person she needs, but she doesn't like that because they're not giving back to her how she is, if you know what I mean. I think that's what this when she's.
Do you not think Marshall's a bit fucking needy? And you said it. I think you nailed it in the last episode where you're just saying he's fake as fuck. Really,
oh, he's fake. Yeah.
She's being a knob, and he's just like, oh, I love her so much. It's like, come on, mate. It's okay to say, look, she's being a knob. Right? Why should I put up with this? It's okay to say that. Don't. Oh, it's so great. We have these challenges and we just need to work them through. But, these aren't problems. These are opportunities. Fuck off. Just call it as it is. Yeah. So I just find him a bit fucking wet. But I don't actually think that's the real person. I think he's just projecting what he thinks he should project on this show.
Yeah. What she needs. Yeah. Dave, I'm sticking by it. He's a faker, but. Oh, an interesting couple again. Another, you're watching it and I'm like, how have you even come on this show? But anyway, we've talked about these two enough. Let's move on. Absolute pair of Muppets for me, Muppets. Now, we get the suit and dress shop thing, don't we? So we get, is it Vanessa Lachey or Nick Lachey and his wife? Not a big fan of either of them, if I'm being honest, Dave. It seems to be on every.
Why are they there? I know. Artificial intelligence is making a big play this year. Just fucking put some AI in there. We don't need these Muppets.
No, I don't. And every time you put Netflix on, you just see them two, Dave. They're like the Netflix go-to presenters for anything reality trash, aren't they? So
almost like Holly and Phil. Too soon, maybe.
Well, it'll just be Holly from now on, Dave. that duo's fucking long gone, my friend. Long gone. I could sit and talk about that all day, but let's not do that, Dave. Anyway,
scooch on past that one.
Very quickly move past. So, it just, I don't know. It seemed a bit weird. They brought back a guy who'd like Chelsea, who'd, that was strange. Bring back a random guy again. I'm thinking, are they doing the Josh play? Is this like, is he going to come in and swoop Chelsea off her feet at the last minute? I don't know, Dave. But the more this goes on, Kwarme, he needs to get the hell out of there, Dave. What the hell is he doing? It's like, just go. Don't hang around. You're not compatible. The more this goes on, Paul Kwarme is going to be in a relationship where 2-3 years down the line thinking, what the hell have I done? Because there is red flags all over the place, Dave. And I just think he needs to be more honest with her. He's getting to the point where she's so determined. She's got this ideology of what she wants. She's dreamt of this apparently and all this stuff as a kid. He's got to start being more honest with her, not just going along with it.
Well, this is where I'm sort of thinking again. You've got the chess game going on, haven't you? So how much of the actual reality have we seen, and how much is the desperado? I need to be on TV for as long as possible to help me out in later life. Is going on here because surely there are enough red flags that Kwarme would be out of there.
Yeah,
and it's as if he has those conversations, like genuine conversations with the production team, because we see these little snippets, don't we? But then he never really has that many direct conversations with Chelsea, and she's just in cloud fucking cuckoo land. She's like off like some Disney princess or something. And when it got to the photo shoot, I honestly didn't think that it mattered that Kwarme was there. It could have been anyone. She's imagined this thing, this sexy photo shoot for, since I'm sure she said since she was 5 or 6 or something. I'm like, well, that's a bit fucking weird, isn't it? But it's just like she's got this idea of this ideal, like, again, Disney marriage almost. And Kwarme just happens to be the guy who's the closest fit right now. And so I thought the whole thing was a bit fucking weird, to be honest. And like, she was all into the saucy photo shoot, wasn't she? And you can see he's like, well, let's just ease ourselves into this. It all seemed to be on her terms again.
Yeah.
And he was like this he's got this quiet little resistant voice that he'll air, but then he'll kind of shrink back down and go, well, I mean, there wasn't that much shrinkage, but you know what I mean? He'll back down. Is probably a better way of saying that.
Yeah, I mean, what did you think about his mum though, Dave? The situation, we shouldn't even take his calls. Like,
yeah,
that's not helping him.
So the stuff with staying with Chelsea and is, for me, there's a bit of the fakeness in that, but I felt really bad for him, to be honest. It's clear they don't have a great relationship, do they? I mean, if you kind of join the dots going backwards, I don't think they've ever had this great relationship. They don't seem particularly close. And you obviously, I'm not going to speculate on why that is, but I think the most we got for insight was from the brother, and he basically said, for your mum, it's the my way or the highway kind of thing. So you just do you. In other words, the mother has been bitching to his brother about what he's done, and it's like, you know what? I'm looking, as a parent and as, someone who had parents, you kind of have both perspectives on that. And you're kind of thinking, well, just be fucking supportive, you bellend. And by bellend, I'm not talking about Kwarme. I'm talking about his mum. Be supportive of your son, you dick.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think that's probably why he's got this sort of he's not fully committed. I think he's right not to be committed because of the way Chelsea is, but I also think because of the family things, he don't want to disappoint his mum. He says that, doesn't he? His roots, his a Christian upbringing. It's a difficult one, Dave, to manoeuvre that, I'll be honest.
Well, I might just want to backpedal slightly. Right, so she might be thinking that this is all real. I've just realised just this second that I might be making an assumption because we watch so much of this shit fake TV that we almost assume, or I assume, that everyone's in on it. Yeah. Everyone knows it's bollocks, and everyone knows what can come after. Whereas if you're not in that, and you think, fucking hell, it's like you're going to throw your life away. You've basically gone into this experiment. You've known someone for, 20 days or something, did they say by now? They were 10 days in the pods, and then they've been about the same out. And you're going to get married? This is for the rest of your life? No, I don't agree with that. So actually, I'm going to backpedal slightly. Someone should have had a quiet word with her about what reality TV is these days. But I still think, even if my kids, right, did something I didn't agree with, I'd still be supportive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I still maintain my don't be a dick kind of stance. But maybe she's thinking this is an actual marriage and, her son's throwing his life away.
Yeah, true. Now, one of the couples, Dave, who we passed over every week, there was a little bit of real life to it, was Brett and Tiffany. So Tiffany, there's a lot of tears. She says that to Brett. He does this photo shoot for her. She's completely taken back by it, overwhelmed. She doesn't know what to think of it. And I just think she thinks it's not completely real. I think she thinks that it's too good to be true, that there's nothing, something bad's going to come. She can't believe that Brett is this guy who's after her. She's obviously been hurt in the past. And we saw some proper reflection from both of them, which is good, I think, because they've literally hardly featured them since they basically got together properly.
Yeah, I thought this was the episode because we've kind of skipped over them a bit, haven't we? Because they've been going so well. They've got the Ollie and Tani award, but I think this was seeing a tiny little window into the real person. And I felt like they always say, don't they? The people who come into these reality shows, they think they know what they're getting themselves into, but they don't really. And, having a camera crew follow you around and it's just relentless, isn't it? And you think you'll be able to handle that. And when you've got loads of energy, you can handle it. But it's when you don't have all the energy that, you start to get worn down and then those raw emotions start to come out. So I think it's a perfectly natural thing to stop and sort of reflect on it and go, shit, this is a lot. I mean, it's going great, but fuck me, we're about to get married because I feel like these two are in that place where they're gonna go through with it. And unlike Married at First Sight, which is a fake marriage, this one's a real marriage at the end of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if they want to get divorced, it is a legal divorce at the end. So I can imagine the weight of that is quite intense. So I thought it was an extremely vulnerable moment for Tiffany there. But you know what, Chris? Fucking could Brett have done any better? And no. I didn't mean to be like Chandler there.
No. Yeah.
Could he be any better? I don't know. But I still feel like this couple is borderline perfect. I just can't fault anything that they've done at all,
No, but this also sets us two up like a pair of bellends when in the reunion they go, we fucking hate each other, we deleted each other.
We had you all off. We fucking both, we both hit 1 million followers. fuck the lawyer.
Yeah, and then fucking Vanessa and Nick are like, well, yeah, you've unfollowed each other on Instagram and that. Oh my God, what's happened? So yeah, so that's all to come, Dave, probably. But no, I'm with you. I just don't know what else they can do, and that, we can't have them fucking it up because there's going to be no one else is going to stay together. So let's be honest, Dave. And our last couple, Dave, which was a bit of a strange one, was Zach and Bliss. Now, before we talk about Bliss's dad, the one thing I did like was Bliss's dad did not get the memo. He reminded me of the dads and mums who go on The Bachelor. You know, like when obviously all them fucking incestuous wankers on The Bachelor franchise are just absolutely creaming each other off to stay on any remnants of TV and get a fucking career out of it. And then they always go and see the parents and they're just like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, why am I sat here with these fucking people telling me when to eat, when to smile, when to talk? And the dad, Dave, was like, I don't give a fuck if the cameras are here. I'm telling you exactly what I think. I think it was a little bit harsh, but in the same respect, I was like, oh, this is great. The fucking producers behind the camera going, stop it now, shut up. You can't be that honest. It's a show. And it was like, no, he's fucking telling him straight. So I was for that interaction, if I'm being honest. Whether he's right or wrong, Dave, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those where you got the devil and the angel on each shoulder, isn't it? So if it was in real life, I'd think, well, you're a bit of a judgmental prick. Again, like I was saying before, just be fucking supportive, right? Your job was to raise your child, right? And I have a child, as Alyssa would say from Maths. But when they are a child, you have the opportunity to teach them right from wrong, to shape them as a human being, but your role diminishes over time. And when they get to adulthood, okay, you can say your bit, still try and guide them, but it's like being a coach at football, Chris. When your opportunity was all throughout the week. When they cross that line at 3:00 on the afternoon, it's gone. You needed to have taught them everything before that. And when it's showtime, you need to trust them to do the right thing. And so I just thought, for TV, I thought Bliss's dad was great. It's like he didn't get the memo. He's like, this is all bollocks. And I'm just going to say my piece. But I was kind of thinking, but that shows you as the real person as well. You've not done your job. Actually, well, I say that. I mean, Bliss seems so, assured because she fucking put him in his place. And I was like, fucking tell him. She was like, yeah, but you've got your opinion, but, this is what I'm going to do. So I was fully in Bliss's corner for this one. But appreciating the dad being a bit of a dick made for good TV.
I've got to say, Dave, just before we go as well, just our Love Island preview. I mean, you messaged me, and I know, like, you sound like a pair of narcissists, but we do listen to our own podcast, don't we? Like, some of the video ones we do, we'll record them weeks in advance, and then like, oh, let's have a listen to that, and you put them on. I was fucking pissing myself today listening to me and you especially. You got to the second person, and you're like, I can feel the fucking rage coming.
I could.
I nearly crashed.
Feel it now, just thinking about it.
I nearly crashed for work, man. I was crying because you said to me, like, it's really funny, and obviously I was one who edited it. I knew it was funny because we were doing it like as we do, but then sometimes you'd always listen back to. I know that. But just listening to it today, I was pissing myself. Me, you, even I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then you went about. Was one of the girls who's like fucking Olivia, who'd been on that tour to South Africa, Mallorca, to the Love Island Villa. And I'm like, fuck
Musical
off.
theatre one.
Yeah, whatever she was called. But I was just like, oh, we're off, aren't we? We're off. It just, honestly, I was laughing my head off, just like, we are so fucking miserable on that podcast.
Cynical old bastards. Like, literally, I mean, we should just, what was it, Statler and Waldorf from...
The Muppets. You're not wrong.
Miserable old bastards. But yeah, we love it.
That's us. Anyway, mate, massive thank you for today. Big thanks to everybody. If you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. Follow us on social media @cdrealitycast. Please go to Facebook, Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. And as we all know, tomorrow Love Island starts in the UK. Let's say no more than that.
Is it tomorrow? Is it not tonight?
No, it's tomorrow because it's the Britain Got Talent final, because I've got to watch that tonight, Dave, and we'll talk about that on the next episode, won't we, Dave? That's on from 7:30 till 10 o'clock. So I'm really happy about that, Dave.
I'll be with you in spirit.
Oh, I fucking bet you will. And you're messaging me, pissing yourself, playing FIFA. I'm sat there watching fucking Simon Cowell and Amanda Holden just completely fake it for another 2.5 hours. But here we go. Anyway, so but if you do want to support us, get over to patreon.com/CD realitycast. So the roll call of honor is, and a big thank you to everyone who supports the show, past and present. Larissa, Helen, Alex, Macy, Nicola, Emma, Fiona, Cassie, Megan, Kate, Maggie, Kristen, Zoe, Helen, Keith, Helen. I'm losing it here, Dave. Helen's got mentioned twice because she's that good. Yeah. Brianna, Chloe, Joanna, Noreen, Libby, Casey, Deanie, Susan, Lauren, luckily, Kate and stuff. So you can fucking do it. You're taking the piss out of me.
I always say you are. You are supreme at doing that, but
I love that when you switch off, you're like, oh, he's off now. Here he goes. I never get it right. Every episode I get it wrong. But anyway, so thank you for that, mate. And thank you everyone for listening. It's been emotional.
That is awesome. Cheers, mate. And so episode 11 will be there soon. And let's fucking get this out of the way now that we've started
very quickly. Yeah, very quickly. You'll be amazed how quickly this gets finished this week, Dave. But there you go.
All right, mate. Well, thank you very much, sir. Thanks to everyone out there for listening. Thanks to all our supporters. And we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.